Hi, today we're going to talk about how to add integers. And the first way we want to look at this is through a model. Okay, so using models to add integers. Remember now, when you add two opposite numbers, you get a sum of 0. Opposites are additive inverses, and this is going to come back in the next section as well. In arithmetic, if I take the number 1 and I add its opposite, which is -1, I'm going to get 0. They cancel each other out. Or if I have 5 and I add its opposite, a -5, I'm going to get 0. In algebra, we just say, let x represent the number. Its opposite would be -x. They give you a sum of 0. Now, for the model purpose, we're going to say that the color yellow represents a positive number and the color red represents a negative number. These are called zero-pair chips. Therefore, if I take a positive and a yellow, the same amount of each, they will cancel each other out, giving you a result or a sum of 0. They make what's called a negative pair. Let's take a look at an example. If I have 2 plus a -5, 2 is a positive number and represented by the color yellow. I have 2 yellow chips. What I did here is I showed you how to do this on your paper. So make a circle and put the letter Y in to represent yellow. Then to that I'm going to add a -5. Remember, negative numbers are represented by the color red. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red chips. Again, just make a circle and put the letter R in there. Now, this positive and that negative, these make what we called, remember, a zero pair. This and this make another zero pair. I have nothing left to cancel these out, so my answer is going to be 1, 2, 3, and they are red, -3. And you bring them over. That's what's left after these cancel each other out. Let's try a couple. Okay, -1. That would be red. To that I'm going to add 4 positive yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. These make a zero pair, leaving me with 1, 2, 3 yellows or a +3. Over here I have a +7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and these are going to be yellow because they're positive. So put a Y in each one. To that I'm going to add a -3. These are red. Now you can make a zero pair. They cancel, and they cancel. Well, what are you left with? 1, 2, 3, 4 yellows, or a +4. Next we have a -2, and that color is red. We have another -2, and that color is red as well. They don't make any zero pairs, so what do I have left is 1, 2, 3, 4 red, or a -4. Another way you could look at this is using a number line. Some people like the zero pair chips, some people prefer the number line. Okay, so this is a word problem. On 2 plays, a football team loses 8 yards and then gains 3 yards. Find -8 means it lost, that's why it's a -8 yards. But then it gained, so that's a +3. So find -8 plus 3 to find the result of the 2 plays. Where are they at? Okay, so let's say you're at 0, and I used the red line to show that we lost 8. My yellow's not going to show up well on here, so I used a blue line to represent the +3. 1, 2, 3. The result is they're at a -5 yard line. Let's try a couple. 2 plus -6. Well, you're going to go 2 in the positive direction, landing right there. on a positive 2. Now you're going to go 6 to the left. It's a negative direction. So you're going to start here. 1, 2 takes you back to 0, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 at -4. The next one is -4 plus 9. Starting at 0, go 4 to the left. I'm at -4. From there, you're going to go 9 to the right. So 4 coming back, that means you have to go 5 more. And you're at a positive 5. And finally, -5 plus -1. Starting at 0, go -5 right here. And now you're going to go 1 more to the left. It's another -1. And you're at -6. Okay, there is a rule here on how to add integers. If the signs are the same, both positive or both negative, the same, add the numbers and keep the sign. Why? Because you're going in the same direction. You're going positive, more positive, you keep going to the right. If you're going negative and more negative, now you keep going to the left of 0. However, if your signs are different, one's a positive, one's a negative, you subtract the numbers because that's where you're making those 0 pairs. And that distance on the number line cancels each other out. And take the sign of the greater absolute value. So the greater number, when you take its absolute value, so for example, I have a positive 4 and a -6. Obviously, positive 4 is greater, but it's their absolute value that I'm talking about. So the absolute value of a positive 4 is a positive 4. The absolute value of a -6 is a positive 6. That is greater. So let's try a couple. -12 plus -31. You can see now why those 0 pair chips, as my numbers get larger, that becomes a difficult strategy to use. But think about this. -12, 12 units to the left of 0. -31, 31 more units to the left of 0. That's going to put me go to the left, go more to the left, or red and more red, no 0 pairs. That's going to give me 43 red, or 43 units to the left of 0 on the number line. Look at example 4. A positive 7, 7 units to the right. Now a -18. Now you're going 18 units to the left, or 7 yellow and 18 red. Then you're going to have the 0 pairs canceling each other out, leaving you with more. Negative absolute value of a -18 is greater than the absolute value of 7. So you have more of these, leaving you with a -11. Let's try a couple. -22 plus -16. If you take a look here, I'm going 22 units to the left, and then 16 more units to the left. I'm going in the same direction. 22 red, 16 red, no 0 pairs. So you're going to add these numbers, which gives me 38, and keep the sign, -38. Look at this one, 60 plus a -13. 60 units to the right of 0 and 13 units to the left. 60 yellow, 13 red. We have 0 pairs now. This is now subtraction. You're going to subtract them and take the sign of the larger absolute value. So this is going to give me a positive 47. And finally, -125 or 125 red and 35 yellow. 125 units to the left of 0 and 35 units back toward the right. Again, 0 pairs. And these are going to cancel each other out, leaving you with 90. You subtract and take the sign of the greater number, greater absolute value. And finally, what happens if I have more than 2 numbers? Well, there's different ways, and you can go through and add these to get your result, add this, and follow the order of operations. I'm not crazy about that. What I'd like to do is regroup using the commutative property, okay, because I am doing addition here. So what I like to think about is adding all my negatives, adding all my positives, and then subtracting once. So a negative 12, a negative 6, a negative 2. Why can I add those? Because I'm going in the same direction. To the left, and to the left. So 12 units to the left, 6 more units to the left, that's 18, and 2 more leaves me at a negative 20 on the number line, or a negative 20 integer, which would be 20 red. I'm going to add to that a positive 15, or 15 yellow. They are opposites. We're going to cancel here. So this is when we subtract. 20 minus 15 is 5, and take the sign of the larger number. Let's try another one. 1 plus negative 3 plus 2 plus negative 10. Okay, I'm going to think about negative 3 plus negative 10, adding my negatives, and adding my positives, 1 plus 2. Negative 3 and negative 10 gives me a negative 13. 1 plus 2 gives me 3. And now we're going to see that we'll subtract once. This is red, this is yellow. We subtract 13 units to the left, 3 to the right. We have that cancellation of distance. This is going to leave me at a negative 10. So I only subtract once. Combine all your positives, combine all your negatives, and now you just subtract once and take the sign of the larger number. And finally, now real big numbers here. I'm going to look at regrouping the negative 250 with the negative 100. And then to that, I'm going to add 200 plus 220. So negative 250 and negative 100 is negative 350 plus 200 plus 220 is 420. And now I only subtract once. And this number is larger, so my answer is going to be positive. And 420 minus 350 is 70. And that's a positive 70. Okay, that's it. Bye.